Well, hello everybody. It is Saturday. It is the weekend. While we're all staying at home, sometimes we forget, is it actually the weekend? What day is it? It is Saturday, and it is Saturday. I am hosting Golf Town's virtual golf clinics. This is clinic number 9, and they are hosted by me, Lisa Blueswick, nickname Lisa Longball. I'm an 8-time Canadian long drive champion, and I'm passionate about this game. So I'm here to share some tips with you, and today's tip is about how to look like a golfer, not just someone who plays golf. How to look like a veteran golfer versus a rookie, right? And we could all use that sometimes, right? So today we're going to learn lots of tips, and they are by no means meant to offend anyone, but what my tips today are about is all about how to look pro, how to look like you know what you're doing, even if you don't. And the best part about that is I'm a big fan of fake it till you make it. Even if you're a 30, 40 plus handicap, that's okay. When you get to the golf course, I'm going to teach you some things today that makes you look like a wily veteran, like you're a single digit handicap. So very, very fun. So welcome everybody. I just wanted to do a shout out. I see Amphi's joining us this morning, and Helen, hello. Thanks for joining us, everyone. That is awesome. All right, well, let's get started. How do we look pro? First thing we do to look pro, we got to talk about our equipment. Now, with our equipment, what is really important is how your bag is organized. This is absolutely key. Now, most golf bags come with little dividers in the golf bag. You need to use those dividers. And when you're using those dividers, you need to put your clubs in certain compartments. Why? A, it looks pro, but B, it's organized, and C, if you're missing a club, it's so much easier if you organize it this way. So what I do in one of my lower sections, I put all my wedges. I put all my wedges in my lower section. Then I have a section that I put my putter in, so one for my putter. Then I have a section for my 9, 8, and 7 iron. Then I have a section for my 6, 5, and 4 iron. Then I have a section for my hybrids and fairwoods, and a section for my drivers. Now, does it look like my bag is pretty full? Yes, it is. So I have way more than the legal number of clubs. What are the legal number of clubs? 14. If I were to be playing a golf course, playing in a tournament, I would only be bringing 14 clubs with me. These are just all my clubs that I have with me so that I keep them in one spot. But it's really easy when you know that you've got your 9, 8, and 7 iron in this compartment. You go to put a club back and you're like, hey, where's my 8 iron? It's very quickly, you can see, left it on the last green, left it in the middle of the fairway, and very quickly you'll find out. Plus, I think it's just a mindset. If you have a well-organized bag, then I think, again, it's going to help you play better golf. Being organized is really important because mindset is important in golf. I'm just going to do a shout out. I see Ellen has joined us today, and Shannon. Lisa, welcome from Toronto. Glad you have joined us, Lisa. Now, you just had a birthday, Lisa. I knew that. And Julie, welcome. I'm having a great day today. Thanks so much. And Denise from Newcastle. Thanks so much. So again, first thing to look pro, you got to organize your bag. Make sure that each portion of your bag is set up with your equipment. And if you are playing in a tournament and need to keep an official handicap, then you may only play with 14 clubs in your bag. Now, I teased about having my 3 drivers there. Phil Mickelson has actually played a tournament round with 2 drivers in his bag, which meant he had to take something else out. Maybe he took out a fairway wood, maybe he took out a wedge, but you can only play with 14 clubs if you are keeping an official handicap. So remember that, but make sure your bag looks organized. Now, again, I don't want to offend anyone here, but this is really important. This is a piece of equipment that needs to come out of your bag if you want to look pro. And this piece of equipment is right here, the ball retriever. This is not the 15th club in your bag. You definitely do not look pro when you show up at a golf course with this. And what I mean by that, again, I don't want to offend anyone, and if you love grabbing balls, I get that. However, let's say you're going with a friend to a member guest to a nice fancy golf course. You don't want to show up with this in your bag. Or maybe you're playing with an important client or customer, maybe even your boss. Do you want to show up with a ball retriever to be like, hey, yeah, I already know I'm going to hit it into the water? Confidence. We need some confidence out there. This does not exude confidence. Also, I think that if you're out there scrounging for balls in the middle of the round in front of your boss or client or customer, does it look like you can afford golf balls? So if you're trying to impress your client or customer, not impressive when you're out there scrounging for balls in the middle of your round. So not saying you can't have one, but if you want to, look like a pro, and especially if you're trying to impress some people, maybe take this out of the bag, leave it in the trunk of your car before you go play that important round. Now, what you can replace this with would be alignment rods. I'm a big fan of alignment rods. Now I'm just gonna do a quick shout out here. I see Amy has joined us. She's got some giggles there. I love it. Helen is there from Ottawa. Christine, hello from Quebec. Welcome, bonjour. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, alignment rods. You have seen me use these in our previous videos. If you haven't seen any of the previous Golf Town videos, you can go at any time to the Golf Town Facebook page. And this is the 9th video today, so you can watch all previous videos. They started March 31st. Now, what do we use alignment rods for? First of all, when I see a set of alignment rods in someone's golf bag as they pull up to the range, I'm like, ooh, that's a player. That person's a player. Right away, I assume they really know how to golf, because all of a sudden I'm like, oh, if they've got alignment rods in their bag, they're a pretty serious golfer. Again, fake it till you make it, right? But when you're at the driving range, these are, if you ever go practice your game, these are fantastic. Again, I've had 2 clinics or lessons today, or should I say in the past Golf Town clinics. One was about ball position and the other one alignment. So when you're setting up and you can set those alignment rods down to help you when you practice, again, that creates great muscle memory. That gives you a great target and helps create good vision and target movement. So again, big fan of having the alignment rods in your bag. So you can take out the ball retriever and put in the alignment rods. That would be awesome. Now, what else are we going to talk about in terms of equipment? So I'm going to talk about just something that's important just in terms of golf course know-how. Now, have you ever been to, obviously we've been golfing, you arrive on the putting green and you can see all these footprints all over the putting green in sand. So you see these sandy footprints all over the putting green. That's Chopper. Don't be that person. Don't be that person that leaves all these sandy footprints all around the putting green. So when you get out of the sand, what I want you to do is take the club that you just used in the sand, and what you're going to do is you're going to lift your foot up a bit. You're going to knock on the heel of your shoe, of 2-3 knocks with the club on one foot and the other foot to knock the sand off your shoes, so you're not that person leaving the footprints, the family circus footprints all over the putting green, okay? Really important. Now, I will warn you, if anyone has ever done this, if you miss your foot and end up hitting your ankle bone, it will crush you. It will take you to your knees. You have never felt so much pain when you whack the inside of your ankle. So be very careful to make sure you're hitting the sole of your shoe, not your ankle, because it will take you to your knees. Now, when we're talking about also sand and sand etiquette, really important that you look to see when you're at any golf course. Again, if you want to look pro, make sure you see, where does the golf course put their rakes? Notice it on the first hole. Some golf courses like the rakes inside the bunker. Some golf courses prefer them outside the bunker. Watch to see how that course does it, and please put the rakes. We need to respect our golf courses, and make sure you're raking the trap. I get so frustrated when I'm playing around. I come to a trap, I'm like, really? Someone didn't rake after they were in there? Come on. You know, we all know, rake your trap. Let's take care of the golf course. And on top of that maintenance, when you go to the putting green, drives me crazy, especially on par 3s, when you see all the little ball marks, the divots that have come in from the ball coming into the green and someone hasn't fixed it. Go fix your pitch mark. Fix at least yours and preferably 2 others. If every single golfer did that, imagine how beautiful our greens would look. So let's take care of our golf course and make sure to fix your mark and at least 2 others when you're on the golf course. But I definitely want to see you knocking the sand off the shoes so we can stop the family circus going on the golf course. I'm going to do a shout out. I see Jim has joined us. Thanks so much for your kind words, Jim. Diane, oh, my friend Diane and Jim from Ottawa. Her husband has just come home from surgery. I'm sending big love and prayers for them. Marie, Yvonne, Sandy, thanks so much for joining us. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, now, next thing we need to talk about, this one's pretty important. This one I was schooled on myself. So I was a 30+ handicap myself when I started golfing, and when I first started to play, and as I got better and better and I became more experienced, I had a lesson. So I was dying to one day be good enough to play at my home course, Heritage Point, here in Calgary, Alberta, with the boys. So the boys played on Friday mornings. They played a validation skins game, and I was dying to be invited to this validation skins game. And what makes it tough is normally, you know how skins work, that you have to outright win the hole, but validation skins means if you outright win the hole, you have to birdie or par the next hole to prove you were good enough to win the skins. So it was very nerve-wracking. So when I was finally a low single-digit handicap, I got the invite to play with the boys on Friday morning. I was super excited. We played from the tips. We played from 7,130 yards. Like, it was long. Even as a long driver, I found it long. So I was playing with the boys. I get to the first hole, and I go to make a putt. So I'm on the first hole, and I go to make a putt. And all of a sudden, what does one of the guys say to me? They're like, Lisa, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just making my putt here. And they're like, come on. It's like, you look like a chopper. I'm like, what's wrong? And they're like, Lisa, when you're putting, why are you putting with your glove on? It didn't even occur to me, never occurred to me that what's wrong with putting with your glove on? It's part of my equipment. I just wore it all the time. And so then they schooled me to say, go watch some LPGA and PGA Tour golf. So I went that weekend and I started watching PGA Tour golf. What did I notice? Almost every golfer putted without their glove on. Why? Because putting is a feel game. You are going to make more strokes with your putter than any other club in your bag. So if you're a feel golfer, you want to make sure that you can feel the grip, feel the club head, and that can happen a little bit better for golfers sometimes without a glove. Now that being said, there was a golfer, he's kind of good, Jack Nicklaus, maybe you've heard of him, he's won 18 majors. Now, he putted with his glove on. Did it work for him? Yeah, I'd say it worked for him. So I'm not saying that you can't putt with your glove on, but go watch PGA and LPGA Tour golf when it comes back on, or some of the reruns that we're seeing on TV right now, and 99% of golfers take their glove off when they putt. First of all, I think it's a great routine because it slows you down. You get to the putting green. First thing I'm doing, I'm taking my glove off. Now, when you take your glove off, it can only go in one spot, or preferably in one spot. It's got to go back pocket. Now, when you go back pocket, it's got to go the base of the glove. Now, this is important. Base of the glove, in the back pocket, fingers out. I want to see fingers out, okay? We need to see some fingers out. That looks pro. Now, unfortunately, there's some lady skirts and shorts that don't have back pockets. Now, if that's the case, you can definitely put it at the top of the back of your skirt there, or you could stick one of the fingers up if you have a belt or something like that. Definitely, you could do that. But if you have a back pocket, make sure that that glove goes back pocket, fingers out. That looks pro. Go check it out. You'll see how many people are doing that. And again, I just think it helps me feel my putter head a little bit more, look super pro. And again, even if you can't break 100 to save your life, fake it till you make it, right? Fake it till you make it. All right. Speaking more of some more equipment and how we can look pro with our equipment, your golf balls. So when you have your golf ball, it's really important. Part of the rules of golf is you need to make sure you can identify your own golf ball. Now, it's not a rule of golf that you have to mark your golf ball. However, you are responsible for identifying your own golf ball. So again, really important. If you want to look pro, mark your golf ball. Now, when a lot of pros, the ways they mark it, you've got Jordan Spieth puts a Z on the side of his ball, and that means that helps him think zero into the target. Then he only uses, every golf ball has a number on it, so there's could be 1s and 2s and 10s, whatever the numbers are, and he uses the number 4 balls for his first round, 3 balls for his second round, number 2 for his third, and his number 1 round when he plays his final round Sunday, he only uses the number 1 balls, because when he puts the ball on the tee, sees the number 1, he says he knows that that's go time. So that's kind of cool. Now, so what you want to do when you're marking your ball, so that's the way Jordan marks it. Oh, Bubba Watson, he'll do a big bright pink dot beside the number on his ball. Ricky Fowler, he actually, remember we talked about that line on the ball? So he actually uses, remember we talked about that plastic cover, that line 'em up that you can buy at Golf Town, and he actually has a line on his ball that it's a little bit straighter than that because he uses the cap, but then he also puts an orange dot. He puts an orange dot up to the side of his golf ball as well. And Justin Thomas, he actually takes a red pen and he puts a red dot above, beside, and below each of the numbers. The way I've always marked my ball, first of all, you always need a Sharpie in the bag. That's pro. Got to have a Sharpie in the bag. And what I always do, I've always put 2 black dots and I put them in a diagonal pattern right underneath the chevron of the Callaway ball. That's how I've always marked my balls. I put 2 black dots at a diagonal, and then that's how you know if you're out there with your playing partners or if you're playing in a tournament and you need to find out which is your ball. Oh yeah, mine's 2 black dots. So again, really important, have a Sharpie in your bag, and before your round, mark a couple balls up. Don't just mark 1 up because there's a good chance you may lose it. Mark 3 or 4 up so that they're ready to go, that if you lose your ball, you can put another one into play right away. And again, I guarantee if you're standing with your boss and you're pulling out your Sharpie and marking your balls before the round, your boss is like, oh, check that guy out. He knows what he's doing, right? So again, fake it till you make it, right? Fake it till you make it. How do we look pro? How do we look pro? Now, this is also very important. When you want to look pro with your golf ball, right? So you're out there on the and you're on the putting green and you need to mark your ball. Okay, so you need to mark your ball. You're going to put a mark behind your ball. For the love of all things holy, I'm begging you. This mostly is for women. This one's mostly for women. A lot of women's gloves has, as you can see here, a little button, a cute little button on their glove. See, and what happens is you're supposed to take this button off the glove, and then what you do is you mark your ball. You mark your ball with the button, and then you put it back, and isn't that cute? No, it's not cute. This does not look pro. Unless you're under the age of 12, you cannot use the button on your glove anymore if you want to look pro. So again, if you want to mark your ball, let's not use the buttons on our glove anymore. A couple men's gloves have this as well too. But again, you want to look pro. So what can you use to mark your ball? A lot of ladies have those bedazzled markers, those hat clips with bedazzled markers. Totally cool. That's absolutely awesome. Poker chips were popular for a while. They're kind of out of style now. What you see if you watch most PGA Tour players, not all, but most PGA Tour players, what do they mark their ball with? They mark it with a coin. So I think it would be really cool to start marking your ball with a coin if you haven't already. Now, if you have a coin from somewhere special that you've traveled, perhaps you've been to the UK or somewhere, a neat country that you'd want to use that coin to bring great memories back every time you putt, awesome. But some sort of a coin to mark your ball. Again, most pros you will see will wear that. I'm going to do a shout out. I see that Tanya has joined us from Sioux Lookout. Wonderful. Kurt. Wow. That's hopefully a compliment there, Kurt. Thanks so much. Margaret and Patricia Ann. Awesome. Thanks so much. So what we're doing here today is, again, we're talking about how to look like a pro. I said we should just be marking our ball with a coin. Now, this is a really cool thing. So I always use a coin when I'm marking my ball. But in 1996, at the U.S. Amateur in 1996, Tiger Woods was playing Steve Scott. Now, Steve Scott was about to make his putt, but Tiger Woods' ball was in the way. So Steve asked Tiger to move his ball. So Tiger moved his ball and he remarked it, measured it, did the whole 9 yards. Steve went to make his putt, and then afterwards, Tiger was going to set up and about to hit his ball. Tiger had forgotten to move his ball back. Steve, because what I love about the game of golf is the honor in the game of golf, Steve said, "Hey, Tiger, have you moved your ball back?" And had Steve not said anything, he would have won the match. He would have won the match and beat Tiger. But being a gentleman, he did not do that. He told Tiger, "Hey, I don't think you moved it back." Tiger was really appreciative. So he went back and he hadn't. Tiger had forgotten to move it back. So ever since the 1996 U.S. Amateur, Tiger Woods, when he marks his ball, he uses a coin. But get this, when he marks his ball, he uses the head side of the coin every time he's about to mark his ball. Now, if a playing partner asks him to move his ball, he then moves it to the tail side of the coin. And then he knows anytime he comes up to his ball, if he sees the tail side, he's like, "Oh, that's not right." Means then that's his reminder that he's moved his ball. So I think that's brilliant. So again, if you're someone that when you move your ball, you forget to move it back, use Tiger's tip where you mark head side only for your real putts. If you've moved it, then you flip the coin over for tail side, and that'll be your reminder. Oh, got to move it back so I don't lose the match, lose strokes, so on and so forth. So great tip. Janet, thanks so much for joining. I love that you've joined us as well. And Jackie from Prince Edward Island. Oh, I love Prince Edward Island. Awesome. Okay, now another way that we can look pro. I believe, and I've already talked about this in one of my classes, is that every single person should have a towel on their golf bag. Everyone should have a towel on their golf bag. Why? For several purposes. Number one, the reason we have a towel on our golf bag is we need to make sure that we keep our clubs clean. So the reason you have a towel in your bag, it is not for decoration. It is to make sure we have our clubs clean. What makes your expensive golf clubs work? Well, let me show you. What makes your expensive golf clubs work are the grooves. So if the grooves are filled with dirt and mud and rocks, guess what? All that money you just spent on your equipment is going down the drain. So you need to make sure you have clean grooves if you want to impart spin on your ball properly and have your clubs work and travel well. So everyone should have a towel on their bag. Now, old school towels, especially if you know what I am, if you've been golfing since the 80s, remember those skinny, long towels that kind of look like terry cloth or even, old school like that? Those are good too. Those are absolutely great because that's a towel on your bag. But if you see some of the new cool towels, these are called jacquard towels or tour towels. And again, they're available at Golf Town, and great Father's Day, Mother's Day gift, birthday gift, kind of fun. So what you do is you'll see, again, most of the PGA and LPGA Tour players have towels like this. What you're going to do is every single golf course has a back shop. And so the back shop is usually where the carts are stored, clubs are stored, etc. Outside the back shop, typically, there's a bucket of water. Almost at every given golf course, you'll see a bucket of water just sitting there. Why is the bucket of the water there? Because one of the great reasons is to dip your towel. So what you're going to do, you're going to dip half your towel, not the whole towel, half your towel into the water, then make sure you give it a squeeze. If you don't squeegee it out, then you're walking through the parking lot, you're dripping and slopping all over the parking lot. That does not look cool. So definitely don't be slopping all over. So make sure you dip half the towel in, squeegee it out so it's damp, and then what you're gonna do is have it just hanging on your bag. Now, every single time that you make a golf shot, so whether you're at the driving range warming up, whether you're in the middle of the fairway and hit your 8-iron, before you put your 8-iron back in the bag, give it a little rub. Make sure we get all the grass and dirt out of the clubs there, okay? So this is really important. Use that moist side to get that out so we can clean our clubs. So again, not only does it look pro, and again, when you're you're with your clients or customers, you're already wetting your towel. Again, these people are thinking before the first tee. Wow, look at Mary. She knows how to play, right? So again, it's making you look pro, but not only that, it's helping you with your equipment. So make sure you have a towel at your bag, but don't just have the towel, use it. Make sure we make it damp before the round so that you can use it throughout your round. Now, what's something else that a lot of people like to do on the golf course? Music. So what we've seen a lot of people start enjoying or bringing a little docking station or some sort of speaker that they bring with them in their cart and can have with them. Now, music can be fantastic, but I do have two little warnings for you. One, make sure everyone in your group wants to listen to music. So I remember I was in Fox Harbor in Wallace, Nova Scotia. I was so excited. I got to play with the head pro, young guy, super cool. So I was like, whoo, pulled out my music, and I just had started a song. I said, hey, I'm like, do you mind if we play music? He's like, no, I hate it. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm so glad I asked, because he would have been polite and probably just let me play the music, but he didn't like it. So immediately I turned it off, no problem. But what I do find music really handy for, if you play corporate or charity golf tournaments, those 5-6 hour rounds, and you're out there, and again, it's not an official score because you're doing a Texas scramble, you're doing all that stuff. I think having music is fantastic because I think it makes it a lot of fun. It's a great thing to listen to again on those long rounds. But again, just make sure you're not playing it too loud. People three holes over don't need to hear your ZZ Top. Okay, so make sure that it's just for your group and that we're not playing it too loud and that we're being respectful. Doing a shout out, I see Yvonne has joined us, and Kim, thanks so much for joining us. Christina, oh, she loves Fox Harbor too. That's so awesome. And Shelly and Joe, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate that. All right, what's something else that we can do to look like a pro, right? One of the things that you can do is, for a purchase-wise, is cool putter covers. This is something that you've started to see, I'm sure, a lot has been really popular. I think what's kind of cool about doing a neat putter cover is it's kind of a nice memory. So for my son got to play Kapalua. So it's his first PGA Tour course he has ever played. And what I think is so cool when you get to play those bucket list kind of courses is that every year when they put the tournament on television, you can watch it and go, oh yeah, I was behind that tree on 3. Oh, I was in that bunker on 7, right? It's great memories. So my son, he used his own money and that he had saved up, and he bought himself a shaka, hang loose putter cover from Kapalua. So every time he pulls out his putter, it's kind of a cool reminder. I've got a friend, James Muir, and James, kind of cool, what he did is he saw a picture of people that had taken, that have bought putter covers from cool golf courses and made kind of a wall of it. So a wall in a sports room or basement, kind of a man cave kind of thing. And yeah, so what he did is he has 50, 60 putter covers, and it looks like wall art. And that's kind of cool too. So again, if you have a man or woman cave in your basement and you want to look kind of cool, that's kind of neat to do that as well. And then what else is also popular? And also, sorry, if you're a putter cover one, there's lots of really cool. People collect these. So there's Odyssey Golf. I know I have one that says Lights Out, but you can purchase those at Golf Town, and they're kind of cool, limited edition putter covers, and people collect them. So that's kind of cool as well too. And you can also do driver head covers, or any head covers, but driver head covers are quite popular as well. That again, when you see someone with a fancy head cover, like, oh, that person looks pro, right? And so this is actually kind of a really cool head cover. This is from Dormy Workshop. I know everything's backwards. I have a Samsung and it flips the image. Apparently if I had an iPhone, it wouldn't. So I apologize to all our viewers that, writing and words are backwards. But this is Dormy Workshop, so you can just Google Dormy Workshop to find it. And it's awesome because it's handmade in Nova Scotia. This is a Canadian product, and they do high leather products, and it's Jeff and Todd Bishop, 2 brothers, born and raised in Nova Scotia. That's where their company is. And they both are PGA of Canada members, which is pretty darn cool, and played on the Canadian Tour, which is pretty awesome. And what they've done is a high-end leather head cover company. And you can also get books, and they have bags, they have multiple materials, which is kind of cool for a Canadian company. But what you can do is they will design. You can do the coolest design. You can do a design for your company. You can do a design for yourself, something that's important to you. This is actually a Dave Matthews Band. So if you watched last week during Masters Week on Green Shirt Day in honor of Logan Boulet and the Masters, I wore my green shirt. It was a Dave Matthews Band shirt. I'm a Dave Matthews Band fan. This is Fire Dancer. So Fire Dancer is a logo for the Dave Matthews Band. And actually Dave drew this logo himself. He's an artist in addition to being a singer as an artist. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, so if you have something special, you can make that and they will make that head cover for you. So you can send them a design. You can hand draw a design and they can put that on your head cover. And Golf Town also sells one of the Dormy head covers. It's a Canadian head cover. It's a white or cream like this, a head cover with a Canadian maple leaf. And if you go to the Golf Town website under accessories, on course, and head covers, you'll find the Dormy head cover. That's a Canadian head cover that if you're proud to be Canadian and you want to show that off, you can buy a Dormy head cover at the Golf Town website. So hopefully these tips are going to help you look pro on the golf course. So again, even if you're not breaking 100 to save your life, you can look pro. Again, fake it till you make it. So some of these tips, hopefully they're helpful to you and they can help you feel more comfortable and confident on the golf course. Now on Tuesday, our next class, we're going to be talking about generating club head speed. We've gone through the major topics of making sure we have the right posture, ball position. We've also talked about the turn the shirt, turn the pants, which is huge for gaining distance. So if you did not see that video, you'll want to go back and watch that one about turn the shirt, turn the pants, the golf sequencing and how to stop a pull. That was that lesson. But this lesson is how do we gain club head speed? You can do the turn the shirt, turn the pants and all the rest of that, but how do we gain speed? I will teach that on Tuesday, a bunch of great methods on how to gain club head speed, and gaining club head speed leads to ball speed, which leads to longer golf shots with all the clubs in your bag. So that'll be Tuesday's lesson. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the weekend. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Saturday, and it's Lisa Longball signing out.